Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing
Doctor Who.
You Know It's True. This episode being called, it's just a little fat rap there. This episode being called Oxygen.
Mm.
Don't know why, didn't really fit into the plot. I'm
You're
joking.
being facetious.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was a real good episode. I mean, the tone, ooh,
This is more like it. I thought
ooh.
the first 10 minutes alone, I thought we were in for a good one.
Yeah, if I was a little kid watching this, I'd be like as scared as probably a little kid watching it like back in the day when it was hide behind the sofa, the Daleks are coming. You know what I mean? This, I would get scared of this if I was like maybe like 10, which I guess is like the kind of
Okay.
age you get scared at. Yeah, but I thought it was real good. I like the visuals of it. So basically, what? They land on a space station, I guess, and there's no oxygen there, so they're pottering about, and then they find a guy like up in his spacesuit dead. So it's like this is kind of like corporate universe in the sense that dollar bill, yo. It's like if you want to breathe, you have to buy it and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So like all the crew of the thing have been like, I'm trying to think how they kind of zap each other, don't they?
What do you mean?
I'm trying to think how it first started, how they like all first died, because all the crew died, and it wasn't oxygen deprivation, was it?
No, wasn't it the suits themselves?
Yeah, so they got a message from like, to make an American reference, it's kind of like GameStop. Like you'll get a message from corporate, and then like you have to like do it. Like sometimes when they have sales, they get a message from corporate saying, "Don't tell any of the like." Tell the customers that you've run out of the sale items, even though we've got some in the back room. Say we've run out of them, and then try and give them like the pre-owned stuff, but with like 10% off, kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically capitalism. I think they even called it out in the show. Capitalism is the villain of the show, right? It's capitalism in space. I think they
Yeah.
say.
So they purposely make the suits malfunction. So you think, oh, the suits are malfunctioning, but really they're not. And the suits are hacked and the suits are damaged, but really it's not. It's just corporate sending a
Yeah,
message to the suits, and then you have to like buy more oxygen or buy repairs and
th-
stuff
th-
like that.
there's a couple of cool reveals to do with the suit because initially it sets you up to think it's a zombie
Yeah.
episode, and that is the people themselves are doing. And then the twist at first is that it's the suits, and technology has gone wrong, and that's what's happening. But then the final rule is no, technology hasn't gone wrong. It's still people who are the actual villains. It's the whoever's running the company back on, I guess, Earth or whatever, wherever they're from. That's the real villain.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It was real dark.
It
It,
was,
it was
but
just
they
dark.
kept.
The look of them as well. I mean, like the first one when it actually came online, because they get in the suits and then it's like, oh, we're down on oxygen. It's purged everything, so we have to get in the suits. But the suits they get into were like being repaired, so then they didn't get the message from corporate. So they get in them, and then all the original suits start turning, and like the guy they find like turns around, and is all like. "Ugh," like that, like neck's gone, face is all blue and like veiny, and then they've got like the messed up eyes, like the dead eyes, and it's like, yo, that's messed up.
It was
Looks
dark,
great.
but dark in the way Doctor Who does best, and that's still fun along the way with the Doctor and his companions. I thought even at the very beginning, the setup of the episode, as they walk in and find the body and bringing Matt Lucas, what's his name? Matt
Nardole.
Nardole, bringing him with. And that dynamic again, which was in the first episode, and it's kind of been missing because he's been dropped out for the last couple.
This is the first one who's actually properly like been in for the duration.
Yeah, and that was great with the Doctor's reaction to the suit and Bill wanting to respect the body and put it down and the
She's
reveal.
she's she's very they're putting emphasis on the fact that she's very human.
Yeah,
A lot of all the other companions just go along with it, take it as gospel and stuff like that. But her reactions and stuff like that are very human. Because
exactly. And
obviously you got the Doctor, you got Nardole, and who's kind of like very kind of Nardole himself. Yeah, is kind of alien-like, but it's more like relatable, I guess. But it's very blunt. You know what I mean? And she's just like, you know.
yeah, because even the first reveal that the suit was empty,
Yeah, the
where you
end
had the
doctor.
guy, yeah, it looked kind of like science in the library, and that kind of thing with the suit and whatnot. But the reveal that it's empty, and you had the reaction of both Bill and Nardole of what couldn't you have just said that? So they kept the humour going throughout, even though everything around it was dark.
Yeah. I like the look of the zombies. I mean, yeah, they have to kind of. Then they end up from that, they're getting chased all round, and then they meet up with the other people who were there, and it's like, oh, that's okay. Ships are coming to help us to kind of pick us up, rescue ships. So they're kind
What
of.
did you think? What did you think of Bill and the blue guy?
I think it was a little heavy-handed.
So yeah, I thought it was funny at
I
first. I
think a
thought, I'm not,
couple times, but then I think she kept like going for it. You know what I mean? Which I kind of
yeah,
guess it's kind of like authentic in the sense that a lot of people who do that sort of stuff do like keep digging and digging. You know what I mean? So in that sense, it was authentic, but it felt to me a little heavy-handed. But then again, yeah, very like human. She's never met like a blue guy before. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So she's right to be taken aback. And then she was like, "Oh, normally I'm on the receiving end of prejudice," and it's like, "Oh, why is that?" She's like, "You can't tell." You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, the universe is
Yeah. You see, I don't.
bigger in its sense and just
That's part of the
the
thing.
life, you know.
I don't know what fit. Mate, admittedly, we're two white guys sat here, but I'm like, I'm not under the illusion that racism is gone. Of course it isn't. But was she really? What? I mean, she's modern, right? Like 2000. So is she really gonna get that much racist abuse in this day and age? I don't think so.
I think
Unless
in
she's talking about being A, black, and B, a lesbian. So it's kind of a double whammy.
well, what you're
Maybe we're just
talking about
impressed.
these days? I guess so, because there's always like going to be stuff like that, isn't there?
Yeah,
There's bound to be out of 100 people you bump into, a handful are going to do that sort of
I
stuff.
suppose. And like I say, we're not really the people
I
who
guess
do.
it's kind of interesting because how like the blue guy looked at it was just like, oh, why is that? You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess it's not really a big deal in the future. So traveling to future places and stuff like that, more of it's like a thing like, oh, you're human, as opposed to, oh, you're specifically this, you're specifically that. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is, like the human race as it is. Like on many, I think some of the Doctor Who episodes where they go to a different planet, like the inhabitants are brought up like, oh, you're human and stuff like that, as opposed to any like specific thing.
Yeah, and
So that's more so the issue that
we've seen blue people before, right? I think. Remember? Do you remember in that episode of? I think it was the second episode. You had the blue guy that ran the space station where they were, like when the sun filter goes up and he gets killed like that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Also, the
yeah,
blue lady was like the maintenance one. And the little things came and killed her.
yeah.
So maybe they're the same people. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
think,
we're getting bogged down on blue people.
yeah. So I mean, another kind of big thing as well, because they kind of went, they're going in with these heavy issues. You know what I mean? Because they go out and then she's like, the whole we're going to open the airlock to go outside and go on to the other thing, but her suit was malfunctioning, so oxygen deprivation, so the swapped helmet switched out, and as a result, Doctor Who went blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a big thing, and obviously he's going around doing his thing, and then Nard was like, yo, 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 he hates it when you like try and help him and stuff like that. I thought it dealt with that. They're picking up like all the issues and stuff and just dealing with them. You know what I mean? The sexuality, racism, disability. I mean, they're just one by one, they're just dashing them out in every episode, and I guess dealing with them sensitively. I think the whole blind thing and stuff like that is like really like you know.
I mean, we're skipping to the end, but it's like, what are they? I didn't see the preview for the next episode.
Oh,
But it's like, what are they going to do with him being blind? Like, how long is that going to last?
I don't know. I don't
Because I
know.
mean, look, him being blind forever. I don't think Peter Capaldi, that doctor, is going to stay blind for more than an episode. I think he'll fix that pretty soon. But even theoretically, if Peter Capaldi's doctor's going to stay blind, he's not going to stay blind forever, is he? He's going to get new eyes when he regenerates anyway. So
Yeah, obviously.
I guess it's a cool hook to end with, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So they kind of go round and then they decide, okay, um, we're gonna. Bill gets done. Bill gets zapped,
Yeah.
and then they decide, okay, we're gonna blow the station up. You know what I mean? We're gonna overheat the nuclear reactor, blow the whole thing up. They're out there, they do it. All the people come in to try and zap them, and then it's like, oh, you know what I mean? It's gonna blow up. Everyone's gonna see it. It's gonna be very expensive. Then all of a sudden they shut down. They stop. You know what I mean? Because through the episode there was a whole red thing on the thing, so you can see they're being monitored by whatever. So obviously they clock onto that and then decide, oh, actually, you know what I mean? Maybe that's not a good idea.
I
So
like before we get to the end. I like the thing with Bill where she brought up about the doctor always joking, and then he wouldn't say a joke when he left her. And I mean, obviously, we all knew Bill was going to come back at the end, but I thought, as far as fake out kills go, that's probably one of the better ones the show's done. The stuff for the mum's interesting. Surely they've got to go back in time and see her mum at some point.
I don't know. Maybe it was just thought, right, she's about to die. We haven't really seen any much else of her family and stuff like that. Her mum's been mentioned, so let's hold on to that. You know what I mean?
Sure, but it's the fact that they mentioned the mum, and like we say, we talked about how Bill's been possibly the most humanised out of all the modern companions. Anyway, I'd imagine probably the same goes for the old show as well, since they were pretty paper thin characters back then. So, I think because he went the one question that maybe at the time to the Doctor's history of going back, maybe the one reason he wanted to go back is what happened with Rose's dad. It's been a long time since I saw that episode, but if I remember rightly, like the world nearly ended or some crap, like things started up eating people, so maybe that's the reason he won't go back. But
They can go back because it's like the reason was that is because she saved him from dying. So I mean, because they went back to the exact moment that like the dad died. So I mean, if they go kind of away from there and just randomly bump into her, that's cool.
That's what I remember. That's what I always wondered about that episode. Why would you do that? Yeah. So I imagine at some point I've got to go back and visit her. I think it's interesting. I don't mention the dad though.
No, well,
leave that alone.
Knock it off. I just don't be mentioned. Why would you put me in that position anyway? So yeah, it kind of all gets resolved. You know, she was kind of in stasis, I guess. They hop up on the TARDIS, and then they set the two workers there were like, "Yo, drop us off at head office." As a result, over like however many years, the whole kind of corporate in space kind of gets dissolved. Plops back in his office, blah blah blah, playing with his yo-yo, and then Nardole gives him an ear bashing, like, yo, what happens if whatever down there finds out you're sick? Or because I think they have to go back like periodically, because it's like, yo, we can't be away for that amount of time again. So it's like there's
they can't go back. I mean, from what it's not periodically, but I don't think they're meant to leave at all. They're not ever, he's not ever meant to leave there, and he keeps breaking the rules every time. That I think that's the concept behind. I get maybe Matt Lucas is busy. I don't know what his schedule is, how his contract works, but I think the way they're trying to work around that is Nardole keeps saying we can't go, and that's why they trick him and then run. So the Doctor has to stay there and guard whatever it is.
Yeah, or someone has to be there. So yeah, I do know, according to insiders, I've been asking around because the superhero hub is very influential in these circles.
Spoilers.
And what?
Oh, I'm sure you're about to say something spoiler, so I'm just
Well, we're
covering.
gonna find out what's in the vault next episode.
Oh, well, that's
That has been
dramatic.
confirmed. Episode 6. That we are gonna find out what's in there.
Okay,
Why
I
do you always
mean,
have to do that, man? Like
because
I'm
you're a
gonna do
douche.
something dumb. Who people love spoilers. So yeah, it ended and is still blind. Blah blah blah.
Okay, so the blind thing's going to tie into the reveal of whatever's in there, I guess.
Yeah. So next episode on Who, I think they're going to the Vatican. Vatican. Something about a book. Really like thing. Really like secret hush hush. Like the Pope calls them in to help.
Jeez.
And we see a little flash of the little TARDIS book, the River Song book in there. So however that's gonna fall out, you see him playing about with the vault, being blind. You know the little diary, the blue
Yeah, I'm
TARDIS.
just wondering.
Yeah,
I thought they'd
and
wrapped up with a song.
and then the final like scene, you see a flash of Missy. So yeah,
Right. So, no, River. I was about to say River will be in the thing, but she's not, is she? That's ridiculous.
yeah,
That
you're
was dead.
you're being ridiculous. So yeah, let's talk numbers. I liked it a lot. I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I was going to give it an 8 as well.
I'm thinking, oh, little kid is getting scared on it, but yo, that's how it should be. It's like, look, I think
Do you think
maybe
it's
not.
that scary?
Um,
I thought it was good, but I don't know if it's scary.
well, think if you're 10 years old, like the visuals and stuff like that, like their eyes, the glazed over eyes, and the skin tone and stuff like that. And it's like you've seen a dead body walking around. It's like they know enough to be like, oh, that's dead, and then it's like, oh, is that what happens when you die and stuff like that? I feel like it could be.
I'm not sure when I was 10,
Different.
but I think this is part of a problem for maybe our generation with Who. Now we're kind of the missed generation where it wasn't on when we were kids, so I can't really relate to that. But who knows? It was good. I know that much.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Me too.
Okay then. So yeah, we're I'm Sam.
We're Sam. I'm Matt.
We're all Sam. We just have to try hard enough. This
Indeed.
is the Superhero Hub, and we'll see you next week. Comment what you think's going to be in the vault. I think it's going to be the TARDIS. What do you
Bye.
think?
I don't
Go on,
know.
guess.
We're going. It seems too easy, but
If it's bigger on the inside, that means technically my guess is correct.
I would say the Master. It seems too easy, but I don't know what else it could be.
Maybe it's going to be a slap dang, like just like you'd never guess. I want it to be something like crazy, like just crazy. Like I'd say Davros, but then you'd be like, oh, what's the point in Davros being in there?
What is the point in Davros being in
Yeah, I
there?
mean he can't play the piano.
No.
But like,
Also,
maybe Davros before he got blew up. But even then, why is he in there?
to get sidetracked for a second, but I can't remember that episode. When Davros was a kid on the show, like last season.
Yeah.
I can't remember that episode ended. Did he save Davros?
Yeah, he saved Davros, and then like that was the last time we saw Missy, I guess, and she got kind of captured by the Daleks, as it were, and they're talking about a hybrid. So whether they're trying to mix something up with the Master and the Daleks, because she said she'd help them. So yeah.
Okay, well we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah. Bye bye.